And this is probably one of my favorite verses in the Bible. One of my favorite verses, OG verse, straight from the source. All right. Okay. So, y'all, we are in Psalms. We're in Psalms. And as yesterday, I was talking also from Psalms and just sharing that you get to see David's real life relationship with God through this text. And you get to see him communicate with God. Get to see him have these talks. And you get to see him like sing, and you get to see him cry out, and you get to see all the range of emotions of David. And once again, what do we know about David in the Bible? Yes, David is the same David that slayed Goliath, that slayed the giant. But also, one thing we know about David is often labeled as the man after God's own heart. And then sometimes we might say, well, John, wait a minute. So this is the guy who had the confidence to slay the giant. Yes, that's David. But also, David is the same person that slept with Bathsheba. He also is the same person that literally stole a man's wife, right? Like he stole a man's wife, basically. So how is David a man after God's own heart, and he's still this person who has sinned in this way, y'all? And this is why I think it's so dope. It's so dope for us to take time and go through the Word of God and understand and hear more and learn more so that we can see more and get a valid understanding or a holistic perspective about David, what he did, and everything like that. So let's go ahead and let's dive into this text. And once again, this is Psalms 37. And this is verse 25 that I want to read. And it says, I have been young, and now I am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his descendants begging for bread. One more time. I have been young. Some version says, I once was young, but now I'm old, and I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his descendants begging for bread. I never knew that's what it said. I never knew that's what the second part said, or his descendants begging for bread. Never knew that. What does this mean? This is a reflection of the faithfulness of God. Yeah. Just think, if we took a second, right? And I said, God, I sound so old. I sound so old right now. But if we really took a second and we took a step back and just began to think about like all the things that God has really saved you from, all the areas to where you could have fallen short, you could have been kicked out of school, you could have been kicked out of your house, you could have lost that job, right? If we think about all those things, right, and you think about how God ultimately has like saved you and brought you through, like, man, like this would be a whole sermon situation. I'm not even talking about for me. I'm talking about for you. I'm talking about for producer Britt. I'm talking about for all the listeners of the show. Like if we really took time and we really thought about like, man, you know, I almost had that baby, or man, I almost failed that test, or man, like whatever it is, y'all, the text says, I once was young, but now I'm old, and I have never seen the righteous forsaken and begging for bread. God is letting us know right here in this text. Well, David is letting us know just about his track record with God. And he's letting us know, and he's saying that, hey man, you know, I've lived my life, but I've been faithful to God, and God has sustained me. God has kept me. God has continued to lead me and been faithful with me. Y'all, just as it says in verse 26, right? All day long, he is gracious and lends his descendants. All day long, he is gracious and lends, and his descendants are a blessing. So, man, when we take time and we begin to break down this word and we read the word, y'all, that's one of the beautiful things about the word. One, you don't have to understand it all, but if you are in the family of faith and if you do have a relationship with God, right, you can pray before you read and say, God, help me understand this text, or God, please show me what you want me to take from this text and from my time. And then God will literally begin to show you, right? Certain things will be revealed, if it be through a person, if it be through the Bible, if it be later that week, whenever it is, but it will come to fruition, just to make sure that, you get it, you pull it, and it's clear. So y'all remember, man, remember the ways that God has kept you. Remember the ways that God has saved you. Remember that one time you couldn't pay the light bill, and then all of a sudden you maybe got a check in the mail, or that one time you forgot about work that you did, and then that money came, and you was like, oh wow, I completely forgot about this. Where did this come from? This is a miracle. It is a miracle, but at the same time, it's also just the grace of God, right? So, family, sit on that. Let that marinate in your spirit and your soul. And we're about to take a quick commercial break. Okay. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then we're going to be right back with more Speak Your Success in the Morning.